Welcome and welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a crossover that I've wanted to do for a really long time. My Little Pony as murder drones. Maybe I'll make an animatic based on that idea. I could call it Friendship versus Murder or something like that, but maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Starting with Twilight Sparker. Sparker? I'm keeping that. Her name is Twilight Sparker now. I made her a worker drone with the solver, both as a reference to her magic and to give her something to study. She's a very isolated person, even more so than in the movie. She has a dog bed, but no actual dog. Which is ironic, because dogs are immortal in this universe. She just got it and lied to her parents so they'd stop bugging her. This is the most fun I've had making a video since I started this channel. I had to pry myself away from the screen canvas in order to go have lunch and not turn into a computer gremlin. In school, she's like Hermione Granger. But instead of taking more subjects, she does straight A's on the core subjects only and dedicates the rest of her time to solver study. She hasn't told her parents about it because she doesn't know what it is. The one and only person who knows about it is Principal Celestia, whom incessantly begs her to stop and never use it, because if she does, terrible things will happen. She knew Twilight wouldn't give up on this, so she sent her to another bunker to study cabin fever labs from a closer vantage point. The real reason is so she would make some friends and forget about the whole solver thing. All she currently knows is that the solver is capable of creating and destroying things, cloning objects, if you have enough material, and making you feel like every day on frostbitten Copper 9 is mid-July in Arizona. If you ever ask an artist how many references they need, it's all of them. Yes, all the references in the world. I think I want to make her look like a broke college student. I've decided her zombie drone tail is Spike, because yes. Later on with the hair, I was really trying to combine these two art styles in a way that made sense. Hair is really fun to draw, but it can easily become the most time-consuming part. I really like how the colored line art turned out, so I didn't want to render it, but I didn't want to call it finished here either. Eventually, I settled on cell shading and rendering some parts of the hair and metallic bit. This piece turned out better than I was expecting, so here's Twilight. Next up is Rainbow Dash. I made her a disassembly drone because it fits with her personality and love of flying. Her squad is, of course, the Wonderbolts. She's not the leader, but she's a strong flyer and a fairly humane killer. The faster it's dead, the better. Like all disassembly drones, she used to be a worker. She lived/worked at an arcade skate park place, like Fat Cats or Classic Fun Center. She would rollerblade around refilling the arcade machines and bringing people food. She didn't show any visible signs of sentience back then, but would probably still remember it if it weren't for Sin. Now she brags about her kill count and sees workers as animals. She was one of my favorites to design. I say one of my favorites because they all turned out so cool and I can't pick just one favorite. If we're going with the model headcanon, she's a V model. Spitfire is a J model, Storm is an N model, obviously. Having her hair in her face might seem like a bad practical style choice, but since murder drone eyes are actually on their headbands, it doesn't affect her sight or hunting at all. She'll tell you she intentionally kept it long to cover the light from her visor. Though it doesn't make that much difference, she still thinks it looks cool. She's the one who made her tail all fancy and serrated like that. Every time it gets cut off or damaged, it grows back normal, so she has to recarve it. After she's been hunting for a few years, Rainbow Dash encounters a drone she can't kill. You guessed it, it's Twilight. She went in for a fatal grab, as usual, but was stopped by Twilight's solver, causing her to crash. She's very impressed by Twilight's solver. Twilight, much to her surprise, challenges her entire worldview and everything she stands for with very valid points. So she lets Twilight go. She claimed it was to let her get a head start back to the bunker, but we all know she was too shocked to give chase anyway. Eventually, she'll start spending more time with Twilight and less time with her squad, although Twilight occasionally has to stop her from eating her other friends. Her eyes are the typical acid yellow that all murder drones have, but I mixed in some peach because it was blending in with her hair too much. Her original eye color, before being sent to Copper 9, was a pastel magenta, only slightly lighter and pinker than in the show. I decided to do a really harsh, cold lighting for this environment. It just seemed appropriate. And here she is. Rarity is one of the more normal ones in this AU. She's good friends with Applejack and the most welcoming person in the entire bunker. Except for maybe Pinkie Pie, but she's inconsistent about that. She's a little tall for a worker drone, and so skinny she looks even taller. At first, her parents couldn't decide whether to call her Charity or Rihanna, so eventually they settled on Rarity. She has the shortest hair out of all of them, but that doesn't stop her from curling it and styling it in fun ways. She's just as dramatic and generous as in canon, but also a bit of a coward. She's scared of Rainbow Dash, rightfully so because Rainbow Dash is a drone-eating freak, and she's super squeamish. She squeaks when she sees even a drop of blood or oil, and could easily pass out from seeing more than, say, a teaspoon of it. She's incredible at sewing. She could probably turn an old pile of stinky human laundry into at least 2 designer outfits. She's worked with flags, towels, blankets, bedsheets, pillowcases, and scraps of fabric so small I would have thrown them away. She can patch things so well it seems like there was never any hole to begin with. She likes to use harsh chemicals like bleach or hydrogen peroxide because most of the fabric was previously on a dead body. When Applejack told her that she wanted to go to prom with all their new friends, Rarity immediately volunteered to make dresses for all of them, even Rainbow Dash, and asked for their help in getting material. Since Rainbow Dash could scavenge far outside the bunker without fear of being eaten, Rarity had a lot more to work with than she usually did. I have a headcanon, well, technically canon since I made this crossover, but same difference, that Rainbow Dash and Rarity often get into heated arguments about whether or not smearing blood/oil on yourself or wearing the parts of your enemies counts as fashion. For Pinkie Pie, I made her short and stocky because she needs something to support all her weight when she's bouncing off the walls and defying the laws of physics. She has super tangled, no, absolutely snarled, curly pink hair. She does wash it, but you wouldn't know based on all the junk stuck inside it, most of which was put there intentionally. She's desperately trying to befriend Fluttershy because she knows she's lonely. More on that when I draw her. Her sense of humor is twisted in certain situations. Kinda has to be in order for her to laugh it off when someone she knows gets eaten or mysteriously vanishes. Everyone who's heard of her says she's an unhinged loon, but those who actually know her claim she's just bubbly. She's easily startled, and will confetti blast or grapple anyone or anything that comes within reach. Everyone in the bunker knows her and has spoken directly to her at least once, most of them against their will. Her family lives in another bunker, and she rarely visits them because of the distance and the presence of murder drones. But when she does, you better be prepared to stay up all night partying. And now for Fluttershy. I made her a zombie drone as a reference to the vampire fruit bat incident. Nobody knows where she got the solver. All her ancestors 3 generations back don't have it or anything similar. She's shy, of course, but loves dogs and keybugs. The quickest way to get her to open up is to bring her a new pet. Granted, it's still slow, but any attempt to befriend her is going to be that way. She's the actual tallest here, at a staggering 4 inches taller than Rarity. Her hair is so long it almost touches the floor, so she usually carries it over her shoulder or in a very low ponytail. Rarity insists she braid it, but she doesn't like how tight braids feel. When Fluttershy first discovered her powers, she mostly used them for convenience and fixing keybugs. She has learned the hard way that if you use the solver on a dog for any reason, the poor thing will most likely explode. She had her transformation in the bunker and tried to kill Twilight. probably would have succeeded if Applejack hadn't punched her in the face. Her visor is still cracked to this day. Last but definitely not least is Applejack. She's a mechanic since they can't really have farms on that planet. And she would be the one with the tragic backstory involving dead parents. She's quite a tomboy most of the time, but secretly likes pretty dresses. As long as they're simple, modest, and comfortable. Oh, and she hates glitter. I gave her jeans because I didn't want to give all of them skirts or dresses. I seriously think their prom outfits would have stood out a lot more if at least some of their casual outfits had pants. But I digress. Her jeans are skinny jeans made for humans, but somehow they still fit her okay. Maybe that's why worker drones don't wear pants. They just fall right off, and nobody bothers to tailor them to fit or make a pair that does. Except for maybe Rarity, but she makes all kinds of ridiculous choices when it comes to fashion. Applejack is insanely strong from years of fixing inter-bunker transportation buses and wrangling her little sister back to safety. Due to previously mentioned tragic backstory, Applejack is extremely protective of Apple Bloom, who has never even seen the innermost door, let alone been outside the bunker. And here they are. They turned out pretty great, all things considered. I really wanted to do Sunset Shimmer and some of the other supporting characters too, but I ran out of time. If you'd like to see that, then drop a comment, I guess, and maybe I'll make a part 2 someday. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.